Okay, for this last piece, part 3 of factoring trinomials, this is where A is not going to equal 1. So, and it's not going to be something you can factor out to make it equal to 1 either. So you're just kind of stuck. And I'm going to show you a couple different, there's only 2 different methods I'm going to show you here. One is where you trial and error, which is what I've done my entire life, method. And the other one is the AC method. And I'm going to show you both. All right, we'll start with the 6x squared plus 17x plus 5. Ignoring everything they've done here, let's just do this ourselves. The trial and error method. Well, first of all, I know that they're both going to have x's and they're both going to be positive because everything's positive. Now, before I even start with the a term, before I even start with that, let's just go with what we've done up till now. We've found the factors of 5, found the factors of c, and our factors of 5 there's only one, and it's 1 times 5. So I'm going to put a 1 and a 5 here. That part's done. Now I need to look at my factors of A. Factors of 6. I've got 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. Here's where the trial and error comes into play. I try. I leave it just like it is, and I put in 1 and 6 and 6 and 1. I'm going to start with those. 1, and I just check my OI. I always just check the outer and the inner. Multiply together. The outer, 1 times 5 is 5x. I'm just going to do the 5. Let's just do 5. And then 1 times 6 is 6. These two numbers need to add up. The 5 plus the 6 need to, and remember it's sum because everything's positive, need to add up to 17. They do not. So 1 and 6 do not work. Now I check my 6 and 1. 6 times 5 is 30. That's my outer. 1 times 1 is my inner. These do not add up to 17. So these don't work either. So let's try 2 and 3. All right. 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 1 is 3. This does not add up to give me 17. So those don't work. 3 times 5 is 15. 1 times 2 is 2. 15 plus 2 is 17. Got it. So our answer is 3x plus 1, 2x plus 5. That is the trial and error method. You've got to try all of the factors to see what's going to work. And sometimes, in fact, the majority of the time, C does not just have one factor. That was just the case with this one. We were lucky. The other method is the AC method. And that's where you find the factors of A times C. So looking at 6, I'm going to come up here, 6x squared plus 17x plus 5. 6 times 5 is 30. Okay. What are the factors of 30? Well, let's write it down. Factors of 30. And those are 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10. Is 4 going to it? Nope. 5 times 6. All right. Now, I think this is an easier method. Then we need to find the sum of these numbers to give us 17. 1 plus 30 is 31. Nope, that's not going to work. 2 plus 15 is 17. There it is. So now we're just going to replace the 17 with 2 and 15. So 6x squared plus 2x plus 15x plus 5. Notice it didn't matter whether I wrote 2x or 15x first. It doesn't. Just go ahead and do this. And we're going to look at the two terms, which we've done this already in our first video. We're going to factor out what they have in common. They've got a 2x in common. When you factor a 2x from this, you're left with 3x plus 1. Let's look at the next two terms. What do they have in common? They have a 5 in common. When you factor out a 5 from 15, you're left with 3x. Factor a 5 from 5, you're left with 1. Looking at these two terms, they have 3x plus 1 in common. And when you factor that out, you're left with 2x plus 5. Now, does it matter which form you use? It doesn't. Whichever one you feel more comfortable with. Okay? Use both. It's totally your call. All right. But those are the two methods that we can use. All right. Now, I'm not sure which method you're going to choose to use. I'm just going to go ahead and start factoring. This one looks like a trial and error would be easy because I can just go at 2x and x. They're both positive. And my factors of 3, there's only 1, and that's 1 times 3. However, I don't know whether to put the 1 here or the 3, where to put which one. So that's going to have to be a trial and error for me. So I'm going to try it with the 1. I'm going to try it with the 3 here. And I'm going to check my OI. Using the 1 and the 3. My outer is 2x times 3, which is 6x. My inner is 1 times x, which is 1x. Does this give me the sum? Because remember, everything's added to 7. Yeah, it does. So my answer is 2x plus 1 times x plus 3. Okay. The next one. This will be a little bit harder. Well, let's try it. My factors of 3 are only 3 and 1. So I'm going to put 3a and a. It's 3 times 1. My signs are going to be positive and negative in some format. I do have b I can put in here. So now I just need to find my factors of 14. And those are 1 times 14 and 2 times 7. This is if I'm doing trial and error here, which is what I've chosen to do. I'm just going to check 2 and 7 and 7 and 2. So I'm going to come down here and do this. 3 and 1. All right, I'm just going to use 2 and 7, and then I'll do 7 and 2. Checking my outer only. 3 times 7 is 21. And then my inner is 2 times 1, which is 2. Does that give, and this one's going to be a difference, remember, because the signs are you've got 2 negatives here. So the difference needs to give us a 1. That does not. So let's try. 7 times 1 is 7. 3 times 2 is 6. That does give me a 1. So it's going to be a 7 here and a 2 here. Now, I need my middle term to be negative. So because of that, I need my 7 to be negative so that my 6 is positive. So I need my 7 to be negative and my 6 to be positive when I do my OI. And that's my answer. Can't factor anything out. So parentheses. Both are negative. I do know that. Now, I don't know if it's going to be, let's see if we can do the AC method here. So 6 times 12 is 72. What are the factors of 72? Well, 1 times 72. Let's write those factors of 72. are 1 times 72, 2 times, no, it's divisible by 2, 36. I know it's divisible by 3 because 7 plus 2 is 9. So 72 divided by 3 is 24. And I know it's divisible by 4. 18. Not 5. 6. Yes. 6 times 9 is 70. Nope, that's 54. So it is divisible by, what is it? What's that? Hold on. 72 divided by 6. 12. 12. 7 times, so 72 divided by 9 is 8. All right. Middle term is the only thing negative. Remember, this is the one where it's the sum. So the sum needs to give us 17. Nope. 2 plus 36 is 38. 27. 18, 19, 21, 22. 18. Here it is. The last one, of course. So 8 and 9. So here's how we rewrite this. Oh, bear with me just a second. Okay, how we write this is we write 6w squared and then minus 8w minus 9w. Why do I do that? Why do I do minus 8 minus 9? Because negative 8 minus 9 is negative 17. You add them together and keep the sign, and then plus 12. All right, we're going to look at the first two terms and then the second two terms. First two terms, they have a 2w in common. I can factor out, and that will leave me with 3w minus 4. For the next term, I need to factor out a negative 3, and that leaves me with 3w minus 4. Looking at these two terms, I can factor out 3w minus 4, and that leaves me with 2w minus 3. There's my answer. All right. Again, pick whichever method you choose. I honestly think that the ones with the sums are probably the easier ones to do the AC method than the trial by error method. Okay, so let's do the AC method again for this one. 9 times 4 is 36. We need to find the factors of 36. And if you do trial by error, you're still going to get the same answer as me. So do whichever method you prefer. Factors of 36 are 1 times 36, 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 9, and 6 times 6. Now, because everything's positive, the sum of the number must give us 12. 37, 20, 15, 13, so 6 and 6. So 9z squared plus 6z plus 6z plus 4. All right. We look at the first two terms and then the second two terms. What do they have in common? The first two terms have a 3z in common. Factoring that out gives me 3z plus 2. The next two terms have a 2 in common, and that gives me 3z plus 2. Looking at these two terms, they have 3z plus 2 in common. Factoring out that from the first term leaves me with 3z. Factoring it out from the second term gives me plus 2. Well, looky there. It's 3z plus 2 squared. This is a trinomial that is the 3z plus 2 squared. Very cool. Fun, fun, fun. Okay, this one I'm going to do trial by error. All right. Well, the 5 is easy. It's a 5 and a 1 because it doesn't have any other factors. And I can put an X and an X. I don't know who gets positive and negative. But I know that 20, factors of 20 are 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. Okay. And it's just do trial by error. I'm going to break this down. I have a 5 and a 1. Can do 1 and 20, 20 and 1. Check my OI. Outer is 1, inner is 100. Ooh. My difference needs to be 21. And that didn't work. 5 times 1 is 5. 20 times 1 is 20. That does not give me 21. Let's try again. We've got 2 and 10. Outer is 2. Inner is 50. Nope. That didn't work. Outer is 10. Inner is 10. That doesn't work. Okay. Oh, we're down to the 4 and the 5. So we've got 5 and 1. Outer is 4 times 1 is 4. Inner is 5 times 5 is 25. 25 minus 4 is 21. That's it. So I need 4 and 5. Now I need the middle term to be negative. So my 5s need to be negatives. 5 times 5 needs to be negative. My 4 needs to be positive. All right, last one on this page. Middle term is the only thing negative. I would do the AC method on this again because remember, your terms are both are going to be negative. So let's start by 5 times 6 is 30. Again, you can do trial by error, totally your choice. Actually, trial by error might be easier on this one. But I've already committed. So factors of 30 are 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, and 5 times 6. This one, because the negative is only in the middle, the sum must be 17. 31, 17. There it is right there. So 5y squared minus 2y minus 15y plus 6. Let's look at our first two terms and our second. First two terms have a y in common. That leaves me with 5y minus 2. Second two terms have a negative 3 in common. That leaves me with 5y minus 2. From both of these terms, 5y minus 2 are the common factor, and that leaves us with a y minus 3. Last page. All right. 3x squared plus 19xy minus 14y squared. Okay. Let's just do, does it matter which one we do? No, let's do trial by error. I know it's going to be an x, a y, and a y, and it's got to be a 3 and a 1 because 3 and 1 are the only factors of 3. So the 14 is what we have to deal with. The 14, the factors of 14 are 1 and 14 and 2 and 7. We're doing trial by error. I've got a 3 and a 1, and then I'm going to try the, typically I would try the 2 and the 7, but we could try the 1 and the 14 too. Well, if we think about this, 14 and 3, if we multiply that, would be too big. 14 minus 3 is not, or 14 minus 3 is not going to give us, because this has to be a difference. The difference has to be 19. 14 minus 3 is not going to give us 19. So I'm going to go ahead and try the 2 and the 7s. Let's try 7 and 2. So 7 times 1 is 7. 2 times 3 is 6. That does not give us 19. So that doesn't work. 2 times 1 is 2. 7 times 3 is 21. That gives us 19. We need the 19 to be positive, so 21 has to be positive. So positive and negative. So plus 7 minus 2. Okay. It's another difference one. Got an X, a Y, and a Y. Oh my goodness, there's a lot happening here. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Hold the phone. Let's make life easier. These are all divisible by 3. I can factor 3 from this. 8 times 3 is 24. So 8x squared plus xy minus 9y squared. Oh, that makes things like a lot easier. Oh my God. So it's going to be something with an x and y, x and y. All right. Now we can do our trial by error, to where our factors of 8 are 1 and 8, 2 and 4, and factors of 9 are 1 and 9, and 3 and 3. Ooh, I kind of want to do 3 and 3. So let's do, we'll try 1 and 8. And then we'll try 1 and 9, 9 and 1. Check our outer. 1 times 9 is 9. 1 times 8 is 8. We need the difference to be 3. That didn't work. 9 times 8 is 72, and that's not going to work. So the next one, let's try 3 and 3. 8 times 3 is 24. 3 times 1 is 3. That does not give me 1. We need the difference to be 1. So let's go to the next one. 2 and 4. We can try 1 and 9. 2 times 9 is 18. 1 times 4 is 4. Does not give me 1. 9 times 4 is 36. 2 times 1 is 2. That doesn't work either. Let's hope the 3's work. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 2 is 6. What am I missing here? 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. Hold on. Oh my goodness. I totally missed it, didn't I? Y'all, I missed it. That's not going to work. It happens. Let's go back to our 1 and our 8. If that's the case, then my 1 and my 9 should work. 8, 9. This would have worked. I was looking up here at 3. I should have been looking at the 1. Totally my fault. Okay, let's do this right now. So 8 and 9. So we've got 1, 1, 8, and 9. Now we need our sign to be positive in the middle. So our 9 needs to be positive and our 8 needs to be negative. Don't forget that your 3 is a part of this. Mistakes happen. Hashtag human. All right. Ooh, 10. Okay, so these are all divisible by 3. 15, 21, yes. 1 plus 2 is 3, yeah. So I can factor out a 3 and an x from this. And that's going to leave me with 5x squared minus 102 divided by 3 is 34x. And then 7. Okay. I'm going to leave this as a 5x and an x. All right, trial by error, because there's only one term to check here. 7 only has 7 times 1. So I need the middle term to be 34. So my 7 has to be multiplied times the 5. Gives me 35 and 1, which is 34. I need the middle term to be negative. Feel free to check your OI. 5 times 7 is negative 35, plus 1x is negative 34. Not too bad. All right. Doesn't have a number in common, doesn't have variables in common, so this is just factoring. Since this is all positive, let's do the AC method. 8 times 15 is what? 120. Factors of 120. 1 and 120, 2 and 60, 3 and 40, 5 and 24, 6 and 20, 7, 8, and 15, 9, nope, 10 and 12. That's it. All right. The sum needs to give us 26. So nope, 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 nope. There it is. So we're going to write 8 x squared y squared plus 6xy. I should factor out my y squared. I don't know why I didn't see that. Let's go ahead and do that. Y squared is going to leave you with 8x squared plus 26x plus 15. Huh. Didn't look the same earlier. All right. So now I can rewrite this. Y squared, and then it's 8x squared plus 6x plus 20x plus 15. These two and these two. Don't forget your y squared. These two have in common 2x. When I factor out 2x, that leaves me with 4x plus 3. These two have 5 in common. Leaves me with 4x plus 3. Bring down that y squared. Don't want to forget it. Out of these two and these two, they have 4x plus 3 in common. That leaves me with 2x plus 5. You know what? My entire life, my entire mathematical life, I've not been a big fan of the AC method. And I don't know why, because it's pretty darn cool. That's a lot easier than trial by method for most of them. All right, if you have any questions, please get in there and do that homework. It's going to take you some time. This is going to take some practice. And for those of you who are moving on to college algebra and trig, please do your best with this. Make sure you understand all of this, because otherwise it's going to eat your lunch by the time you get to 1590. All right. The rest of you should be fine. If you struggle with this, let's just get you through this, because you won't be seeing very much like this moving into 1500 and 1540. All right. Have a great day. Message me with any questions.